Successful people have one thing in common. Elon Musk, Steve Jobs, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Steve Jobs, they all have it. They love contradiction. They don't listen to the opinions and sides. They analyze the information, think rationally, and then come up with their own answers. In Michael Jordan's time, people were offensive or defensive, but Michael Jordan questioned this. He learned to play both sides, and this way he became one of the greatest players in basketball history. Elon Musk is a visionary. He is immigrating the whole universe, but still he's detail-oriented. Once he held a meeting, which is really rare in these big companies, because someone sent him an email in which there was an abbreviation which he didn't allow. A fucking abbreviation, do you understand that? That small detail was bothering his mind so much that he held a meeting. An abbreviation. But there is endless examples of people who are playing both sides. Steve Jobs was a creative mind and also business minded. LeBron James was a team player and also a leader. Lionel Messi is a professional shooter and also a dribbler. Since I was a kid, I wanted to be a professional content creator. Now I failed plenty of times, but at 18 years old I fell in love with entrepreneurship. I love working on businesses, I love having grandiose visions into the future. That's why I decided to solve the problem, the lack of education about content creation, with the vision of every creator who wants to succeed does. Because I don't want to see another 14-year-old fail with gaming content. But there is this old adage which I can't fix in my mind, which is you're either focused and focusing on a task, or either you're creative and creating different solutions. This is what I have grown up with this mindset. In school I wasn't enabled to use my unique solutions. I had to use the solutions which my teacher gave me. I wasn't able to become creative only focusing on one task to solve it, not becoming a creative person and trying to figure out how can we solve this problem. I was forced into copying and copying, so I couldn't be creative. I have already created a video how we are brainwashed into copying and how we can be unique in this and become somewhat different from everyone else. You can check it out, there will be somewhere a link. I know that school is creating the new factory workers, but this mindset is still existing. Our minds are locked in a cage, just as a bird. We don't try new ideas, we don't try to come up with new solutions. We are looking at others what to do, and we are stressed when we face new problems. And this comes from this mindset. This is because we don't let our minds flourish. And we know that a bird who is in a cage doesn't sing nearly as good as a bird who is in nature. Or is this just my take on it? But how can we achieve this state? How can we free our minds? How can we come up with solutions easily to problems? How can we laser focus on tasks for hours? And how can we be open-minded for everything in the world? Focus and creativity. Perfect couple. Have you tried solving a problem with no ideas? Did it work? No. Have you tried solving a problem without actually focusing on it? Did it work? No. If we don't match these two, focus and creativity, we are not going to have optimal flow. We don't complete tasks the right way. We don't try to understand issues, and we don't try to solve problems. How does focus and creativity work? Firstly, focus and creativity is not a have. These are lies. I don't have focus and I don't have creativity. Focus and creativity are skills. They must be learned and practiced. They are like muscles. Just in the gym, you go and work out to make your muscles grow and get bigger. In the same way, you need daily practice to make your focus and creativity better. Creativity is about connection. Productivity is about clarity. I have observed a pattern around focus and creativity. I have read plenty of books now, this is very small amount here, but I have read some, and of course not enough. And everyone who's talking about focus and creativity, they connect the ideas with conscious and subconscious. Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, have order, which is the conscious, it represents structure and logic and focus, and have chaos, which is the subconscious, the realm of emotion, instincts and dreams. Chris Bailey, the author of Hyperfocus, this is the book which I'm talking about. It's really good, you should read this. Talks about hyperfocus, which is the conscious, is the state for the most productive work, and scatter focus, which is the subconscious, and it's for connecting ideas in your head. Daniel Kahneman, the author of Thinking Fast and Slow, I also have that book, but I have given it to my friend. He talks about System 1, which is the subconscious. It's fast and automatic, it decides very quickly about things. System 2, which is the conscious, it's slow and it needs more reasoning. Most likely you have thought about this, but it's really good for us because we have reference. We have something which we can back our knowledge about focus and creativity. Focus. the state of not being disturbed. Focus is nothing else besides one task and you. A lot of us try to multitask, and that is not focusing. It's the complete opposite of focusing. If you're focusing, you're doing one task. You're solving one problem. If you are trying to multitask, you're not focusing. Just as Danko said in his quote that productivity is about clarity. If we want to focus, we need one clear problem and ideas to solve that problem. I am not, and I will never advocate for multitasking. I have tried multitasking, it never worked for me. I have better results when I'm monotasking. If you want to multitask, do it, I don't care. Creativity, the state of connecting ideas. Think about like this. You are at night watching the stars. There's millions of stars. If you look closer, you can see only one or two stars, which is focusing. You're focusing on one star. But if you zoom out and you look at the big picture, you have this huge array of dots to connect, and this is creativity. You can draw anything you want. You can connect these dots any way you want. And this is creativity. When you're creative, you're connecting the ideas in your head to solve a problem. Just as Danko says, creativity is about connection. To be honest, a lot of us struggle with creativity, but creativity is only hard if you don't have ideas. How to balance focus and creativity? One without the other is worth nothing. But sadly, it can be very hard to use them together if you don't have the right framework for it. If I had an hour to solve a problem, I would spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about the solutions. The common framework of solving the problem is that I have a problem, I will go and solve it. But this doesn't work if you don't have ideas, and we need creativity to have ideas. As Albert Einstein said in the quote, we need this framework. If we meet with a problem, our first thing is to generate ideas to solve this problem. Either to understand the problem or how can we solve the problem. And the second or third thing is focusing on the problem. Focusing and solving the problem. Picking the right idea on how to solve the problem and focusing on doing it. I'm 100% sure this also happened to you when you had a problem in life and you went to work or school or you had something to do and your mind randomly generated ideas on how to solve this problem. That is your subconscious mind trying to solve that problem. That is your creativity. Of course, this sometimes can be a burden, but we can use this, light fire under it. We want this creativity a lot of times to come out and piece the puzzle together. Of course, this is easier said than done, but I hope everyone had this feeling when creativity comes and doing something and the ideas just started to connect, and this is what we need. Of course, this shouldn't be occasional, this should be any time we want. This is why we have to master focus and creativity. How to master focus and creativity? Just as any other skills, these can be mastered. It's not harder or easier to master these, but it's the foundation for everything. If you want to be a programmer, an engineer, a doctor or something like that, if you can't focus for 5 minutes, you will not be. So focus and creativity is our core skill set we need in anything we want to achieve in life. These two skills have different steps for mastering it, but there are overlapping elements, which we will go through right now. Purpose. He who has a why can bear almost anyhow. Neither generating ideas or solving the problem is easy. It will need time, energy, and sometimes you have to be very angry about it and have anxiety and stress and want to put your head in the wall. Yeah, but that's part of the process. But Nietzsche's quote is perfect for understanding the situation. If you have a clear reason why you want something, you will even go through hell to achieve it. Now we could go more deeper into identity question and why we do our actions, and psychology is very deep and vast, but we won't in this video. In the next one, maybe. The foundation for a purpose and a reason to do something is a goal. If you don't have goals, you cannot have purpose. Now, I can't help you create your goals, but I can help you create your purpose, because that's a bit harder, and I have a really easy framework to do it. The 5 why framework. First step, write down your goal. Second step, go 5 why deep. Third step, conclude your reason. Example, I want to make $10,000 per month. Why? Because I want freedom. Why? Because I want to decide what I want. Why? Because I hate my boss' tasks. Why? Because I want control. Why? Because I fear that I never be enough. Your goal is to make $10,000 per month, but your guiding principle is the fear of falling short from your potential. But this was enough of going deep. If you want to do this, I have a resource link down below. Timing. Now with a problem and a clear purpose, there could be nothing to hold you back. If this would be the case, there would be any kind of problem in the world. The problem is that people try to focus and be creative when they are tired. and that is not going to work. To focus and be creative, you need time and energy. Energy to focus and time to create solutions. We need to leverage our high energy time blocks from the day to move the needle. If you're a night owl, you can do it at night. If you're working 9 to 5, you have to wake up early and do it then. If you're in school, after your afternoon nap, do it. You need to find your balance. Ask yourself, when do I have energy and time to invest in anything I want to do? It's a non-negotiable for these skills. You need it. How to build laser focus. Building focus is exactly like growing a muscle. If you cannot bench 100 kg, then you will start with 20 and slowly build your way up. If you can't focus for 6 hours, we are going to do 3 sets of 2 hours. If you can't focus for 3 hours, we are going to do 3 sets of 1 hour. If you can't focus for 1 hour, we are going to do 20 minutes for 3 sets. If you can't focus for 20 minutes, that's very bad news. It's not a problem, we can build it up. I have 3 steps which I use to build my focus up, and this is going to bring you tremendous results. Eliminate distractions. It's an advice you hear left and right. I know it's very cliche advice. Cut the distractions, but this is where you need to start. Every single human being on this earth have the same amount of time approximately. And some are billionaires and others are poor. The key here is that billionaires don't care about anything else besides their goals. Anything which could derail them from their goal, they question it. Your first step is remove by questioning. You will remove everything from your life which doesn't add to your goal. If it doesn't add to achieving your goal, remove it. Everything which is in your environment, either physical or digital, they are all taking your focus. If you have a game on your phone, even if you say, oh, I'm not going to play it, there will be a time where you don't have willpower and you're going to go and play the game. Even a simple thought like there is a game on your phone can set you back. Of course, this is not only about games. This is about apps on your phone, social media in your environment, friends who hold you back, and items in your room. When I was redesigning my life, when I have finished school, I redesigned my room. There was one sentence I used to clear this whole mess up. If it's not intentional, I don't want it. I even removed my old pictures from the walls. I removed anything which is not adding to my goal. Anything which is not intentional. Books, intentional. They give me ideas, they give me inspiration. I have ordered plants because I love plants, or I want to love them. So they are coming and they will be here or here, I don't know. But everything which is not intentional or adds to your goal needs to be removed. Of course, I could be a very extreme example here, but still you need to remove 90% of the shit which is in your life because it doesn't add to you. Meditation. Meditate 20 minutes every day. No music, no fun, nothing. You and your breath. This is how you meditate correctly, or this is what I have learned. We are hardwired for instant gratification, social media, and every single stupid shit. So you need a really good attention, because your attention span is huge because you have instant gratification. But if you're focusing on your breath, like think about, where is the instant gratification from this? Nothing. Your attention span is how much time you can spend focusing on doing one thing without being distracted. So if you cannot focus on your breath for 1 minute without going into the depths of one of your idea, then you don't have a good attention span. Of course, if that happens, that's not a problem, because what it means is we have room for improvement, and that is what we need, improvement. Now your mission is to keep your focus and attention on your breath, and when ideas come, just acknowledge them, nothing else. This actually develops a laser focus because it's so boring. I know it's very boring, but if you can bear these boring tasks, then you can do anything. You have tremendous focus. You have a laser focus which you can point anywhere and you're going to focus there. So how do I do it? Well, I usually do it before my work sessions. I have 4 steps. First, sit down and set a timer. Somewhat comfortably, play the 20-minute timer, then focus on breathing. Breathe in my nose and breathe out through my mouth. Fourthly, when ideas come, acknowledge them. Say idea. How I do it is when I have an idea or something pops in my head, I will say, oh, idea. And I will go back to my breathing. I have some tips for you here. Firstly, be clear why you are doing it, because your mind doesn't want to do it and it's very hard, so you need a clear reason why you want to do this. Second, the transitions. My biggest problem is when I'm focusing on my mouth or my nose, or when air comes in or goes out. When I'm doing the transition on what I'm focusing, I'm usually falling into ideas or something like that when I'm doing that. So be aware of transitions. If you can keep yourself not falling in them, then you're going to win. Third is imagination. A lot of times I fall into ideas or deep thoughts when I don't imagine what's happening. Now I imagine my nose or my mouth, because that is the easiest way to keep your attention there, to focus on breathing, and also to numb your mind with imagination. This is really interesting, but this is how it works for me. Now the fourth is to don't be angry about yourself. Now time is going to come when it's going to be hard. You are going to be very creative, you have a lot of ideas and you have a lot of things in your head, and you still need to focus. Don't be angry about yourself, because that is not going to get you anywhere. Focus and acknowledge the ideas and go back. Or even what you can do is let your mind wander a bit and ask yourself, oh, are you done? And if it's done, then you can go. Plan your day. The crucial aspect of focusing is having one task and your problem-solving abilities. But if you don't know what to focus on, you will waste valuable energy. So plan your day ahead. This is what Sam Owens talks about, is the decision fatigue. Imagine a bottle which is refilled every day. This is your mental capacity, your energy. Every day you make a decision, a little bit will be spilled out. The problem is that it's all the same for every decision. So you spend the same energy on all of these ideas. What should I eat? What t-shirt should I wear? What should I work on? What is my priority? If you're not cautious, you will spend your energy on thoughts which has no benefit for your goal. It's really important to have the energy for the task, not on deciding which task. How I solve the problem is that I plan my day ahead. 2 to 4 core tasks which I want to do. And I plan in 30-minute increments of what I'm doing every day. So I know that at 11:30 what I'm doing, or at 4:30 what I'm doing. I know exactly what should I do and when. This actually significantly changed my life of how much I can get done. Now for me, I usually work 10 hours a day. I love this entrepreneurship idea of how much I'm working, but for you, if you have 1 or 2 hours, it's not the same, I know, but you need to know what you want to do. It's not as much important for the 30-minute increments, but you need to know what to do. Now of course this is not just great for not wasting energy, but it's really good because you set your subconscious mind on the night to solve this problem. It's going to think about how can I solve this problem, how can I solve this problem. So you use your focus better and your creative mind better. How to think creatively. Creativity is seeing what others see and thinking what no one else ever thought. Creativity is about having ideas and connecting them. It's really easy if you get the hang of it. What I advise you is that have time set aside for creativity and creative solutions. Just as with folk, you have to think about the problem, you have to generate ideas. So have time every day on coming up with ideas and solutions to the problem you are facing. But what's required for being a really good creative thinker? Right information. The first problem that you can run into with creativity is that you don't have ideas. And this is the problem most people face. But I have a really easy solution to it, and this comes from laws of physics and nature. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transferred. You will not come up with ideas. You will consume ideas. You will transform ideas from blogs, videos, articles into your head. Being creative is having the right information and time to think. The first step to achieve this creativity is to having and consuming the right information. But how to do that? Firstly, identify the problem, so plan your day ahead. Second, gather information, gather books, articles, videos which you can watch and it's relating to that problem. Consume mindfully, consume with intention. What you're going to see is that ideas will spark even when watching, or afternoon or night or morning. What you need is a place to note them. So I advise checking out Danko's 7 Days to Genius. That helped me a lot with this problem. How I do it is that in the morning I'm working on getting things done, I'm focusing. But on the afternoon I gather and consume information to fill my head up with the information which is required to solve the problem. For example, recording this is focus and creativity. I knew a lot already about focus, but I didn't know a lot about creativity. This is one of the reasons why I created this video, so I understand it better if I research the topic. I know things down, I research them, I collected some information and I created this. That's all. Actually, I thought that this was a stupid step because I was in the entrepreneur mindset that just do the work and get things done. But when I realized how much this matters, it's amazing. Like, I'm solving unknown problems, and how could I know how to solve the problem if I'm not consuming information on a regular basis? So my advice to you is that don't be afraid to consume information intentionally. Hacking your brain. The second problem that you can run into is that your brain doesn't want to form new connections, doesn't want to make these connections happen. Now, that is rarely the case, most likely you just messed up something, but I have some secrets which can help you with mastering and helping yourself with connecting the new dots. Environment. If you try to be creative in a space where all you do is focus, then your natural or default mode is going to be focus. You need a different environment where your mind can flow freely, it can flourish. I didn't really believe in this until I've tried it. I went to my brother's room when I was generating ideas or coming up with content ideas, and it really changed me. Like, I realized how much better I can write, I can talk about things. It's so much better. Of course, some can't afford the new setups everywhere, but it's achievable that you have one desktop or table here and another table there where you can write. Mind states. Our mind have 5 different states: delta, theta, alpha, beta and gamma. This is something we can discuss in different times because it's so deep, but we need the theta state. That is the state where you are most creative. That is the state where you are switching from being awake to falling asleep. It's the light sleep mode and you are the most creative there. That is why Albert Einstein used to sit down in a chair with a rock in his hands, so when he's trying to fall asleep he will get into the theta state, and when he reaches the delta state he falls into deep sleep mode, then the rock is going to fall out from his hand and he wakes up. In this way he's consistently in the theta state. If you want to be creative, you can use this theta state for yourself. But how? Well, we have different actions or times when we are in this state. For example, when we are waking up. Just after waking up you are in theta state, or meditating, showering and taking long walks are all putting you into theta state. So now you know why when you're showering all of those good ideas come to you. This is the reason. In this time you're the most creative state, so use them intentionally for yourself. Topic. I realized this on myself when I was trying to search information on a boring topic. When I have something boring, so I'm trying to write a content or something like that which is boring for me, even though I need information and new ideas, my mind doesn't want to connect the dots. So what I do is that, as I have mentioned to you, I note in the 7 days to genius thing. That is how I'm doing it. After that's done and I have to create something new, I have to solve a problem, and if I look at the same thing which I wrote down before and if I don't feel an excitement, I just don't care about that idea. Like, I cannot create something new, something good, something really amazing for the people if it doesn't excite me anymore. Ask questions. Why are kids creative? Why they have wild fantasies? Why do they can imagine anything they want? They don't have social pressure, they don't have to abide by any kind of rules. They are not forced to think within a box. You don't tell a child about his drawing, oh, this unicorn is not real, but it's a good drawing, but the unicorn is not real. You tell the child, oh, what an amazing drawing, that unicorn looks like it's real. But what do people tell you? Well, that's a silly idea. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't start that business. It will not work for you. They put their limiting belief on you. They put your mind into a cage. So what is going to be the result? Well, you're going to think inside a box. You don't have creativity because your mind is kept with all of these limiting beliefs and biases that other people put on you. So you have to stop that. But the question is how? What do the kids do? Well, they ask a lot of questions, even if the questions in themselves doesn't make sense. They are piecing the word together in their head, and for that they need questions and answers. But kids are amazing at not having any kind of biases. They think outside of the box. They don't know what's right or what's not, they just ask. This is how you revive your creativity. You don't do anything else besides asking. You have to remove all of your biases, all of your limiting beliefs, like you know nothing about a topic, and ask questions like you don't know anything about it. With this mindset, you can create new and unique ideas every day. Of course, that is really hard to implement, but I know how to achieve that state. You have to break down things into its core elements and question them individually. Let's quickly have an example. Let's say I'm thinking about newsletter. I may have some knowledge about newsletters, but I want to be creative, I want to be unique around it. So let's break it down to the core elements. There is a platform where I'm going to send the emails. There is the letter which I'm sending out to people, and there is going to be readers who are going to read my letter. Now I can question these individually. First question. Can I somehow publish a newsletter on Instagram? Well, I don't know, but I thought outside of the box. Can I send letters without a body copy and still get readers? Well, I don't think so, but also I'm thinking outside of the box. Can I gather readers from different newsletters? Also, I don't know. Also, this is unique. This is like me not having any biases about newsletters. If you question everything individually, you're not going to have bias, and this is the most crucial aspect of being creative, not having biases and letting your mind create. How to change between these states? I have suffered a lot with this because I focus a lot in the day, but I still need some times to be creative. How can I change between these states so I don't damage either of them, so I can perform at either these states perfectly? And I have managed to reach a flow which is really good for me. So this is my advice for you and how I do it. Firstly, rest. Between changing these states, have time for resting. Either way what you're doing, you need to clear the trash from your mind. From going one state to another, you need your mind to empty itself. Either to nap for 20 minutes or take a walk, meditate for 20 minutes, it can be anything. This helps me actually regain my conscious power and give it more into my next tasks. Now, how can we go from creativity to focus? Going from thinking about everything and narrowing down to one thing is really hard. What I do is that after a 15-minute rest, I go into the tasks which I need to solve and I break them down into its core elements. So if I have to focus on solving, I don't know, a newsletter problem, I will write down what I need to do step by step. If it's designing a new look, then I have to look at colors, I need to look at color psychology, I need to look at how can I design new looks, how can I design new things, multiple different steps. And what it will happen is that my subconscious mind, which is the creative mind, can focus on other tasks while I'm doing this. So sometimes I'm doing the first thing and randomly I get a good idea on the fourth thing. So I can write and note that down for me when I'm going there. How to go from focus to creativity? For me, this was much harder. I think it's the same for everyone else. From a narrow problem, going and thinking about everything sounds frightening. What I usually do to enhance my performance is that I start walking up and down and I start thinking about everything. I start just thinking. It doesn't matter what it is until I'm thinking, because this is what I need to get into the flow of thinking. Now usually there's a point where I subconsciously go to from thinking about just things to thinking about the problem. But if I wouldn't have this, what I would do is go into a flow of thinking, like I'm thinking about everything, then stop, and as a rigid transition I would go and think about my problem. So this is how you can balance and unlock your new brain. Thank you so much for watching this piece of content. Every Thursday I will be bombarding you with information about content creation, entrepreneurship and self-improvement. If you want a personal brand with freedom to do anything you want while fulfilling your lifestyle, I have 3 early bird spots left for my coaching. One of them is already taken. DM me the word coaching on Instagram, there will be a link down below. Subscribe to my channel and subscribe to the newsletter to get more information like this. And if you still haven't followed me on every single platform, I will see you later.